Last week, we stood at the edge of breakthrough. God had heard the cries of his people. Moses answered the call. But Pharaoh's heart hardened. What began as hope turned into heavier burdens. This week, things don't get easier. In fact, it's a rough start. The path to freedom is rarely smooth. The Israelites are discouraged, Moses is questioned, and the enemy tightens his grip. But even in the chaos, God is moving. And by the end of the journey, a song rises from the sea, a song of victory sung by those who were once slaves. And they sang,
I will sing to the Lord, for he has triumphed gloriously. The horse and its rider he has thrown into the sea. The Lord is my strength and song, and he has become my salvation.
Exodus 15:1-2 NKJV. So, as we dive into this week's lesson, a rough start, remember, the road may begin with hardship, but with God, every trial is a setup for triumph.
As Moses sensed, it would not be easy for Pharaoh to allow Israel to leave Egypt. The request was made, it was rejected. There were reprisals. Moses did nothing miraculous, disappointing.
The request was, let my people go, and there were these. Pharaoh's response, Exodus 5:1-2. The people's response, Exodus 5:3-21. God's response, Exodus 5:22-608. Moses' response, Exodus 6:9-13. Also during this week we shall see. The role of Moses and Aaron, Exodus 6:28-7-7. His attitude is used in Revelation as a symbol to represent the French nation during the 18th century. Revolution, Rev 11-8, like Pharaoh the French. Republic declared religion abolished and declared itself an atheistic nation. Thutmose' response is a challenge, not to Moses, but to God himself. In short, he was challenging God's very existence, Exodus 5-2.
And Pharaoh said, Who is the Lord, that I should obey his voice and let Israel go? I do not know the Lord, neither will I let Israel go. Exodus 5:2.
In Pharaoh's response in that verse, let us shortly embark on history. Thutmose III was a child when he was placed on the throne under the regency of Hatshepsut to prevent Moses from being proclaimed Pharaoh. Moses fled Egypt when Thutmose was still a teenager. 40 years later, Moses found himself back in court. Had he come to claim his right to the throne? Not at all. The request was simple, let my people go. Ex 5-1.
They said to them, The Lord look upon you and judge, for you have made us abominable in the sight of Pharaoh and his servants, by putting a sword in their hand to kill us. Exodus 5:21.
The second part, the people's response, that is. When Moses performed the signs God had given him before the people, they believed and worshipped. Ex 4:29-31. We can imagine how eagerly they waited for Pharaoh's response to their request. The response was truly unexpected. Pharaoh not only refused, but forced them to do the work without giving them the necessary materials, but demanding the same results. Ex 5:6-8. What was the excuse for imposing such an irrational order? When they were mistreated, the taskmasters complained to Pharaoh, but they were ignored. They then turned against Moses and Aaron, accusing them of making their situation worse. Ex 5:20-21.
The Lord said to Moses, Now you will see what I will do to Pharaoh. For with a mighty hand he will let them go, and with a mighty hand he will drive them out of his land. Exodus 6:1.
On God's report, the third part, when Pharaoh gets angry with Moses. The people get angry with Moses. Isn't angry, but he is dismayed, and he turns to God with his doubts. Why are you afflicting this people? Why did you send me? Ex 5:22. What I have done and had he will do. What I have done, God is saying what he already did. I appeared to the prophets. I established my covenant with them. I promised to give them the land of Canaan. I have heard the moan of the people. I have remembered my promise. What I will do to the Israelites currently, I will remove the oppression of the Egyptians from them. I will free them from slavery. I will deploy my power. I'm going to make them my people. I will be their God. I will give them the land of Canaan.
And Moses said before the Lord, Behold, the children of Israel will not hearken unto me. How then shall Pharaoh hearken unto me, seeing I am slow of lips? Exodus 6-12.
In the fourth part of Response of Moses, after God's encouraging words, Moses spoke to the people again, but they did not listen. Ex 6-9. God then asked him to speak to Pharaoh, again to ask for Israel's freedom. Ex 6:10-11. Moses was down, depressed, and disappointed. But like other great figures who felt the same way he did, such as Asaph and Job, he did not give in to despair. His trust in God was stronger than his current feelings. Moses refused and again brandished his excuses. If my people will not listen to me, how will Pharaoh hear me when I speak so evilly as I do? Ex 6:12. Moses was down, depressed, and disappointed. But like other great figures who felt the same way he did, such as Asaph and Job, he did not give in to despair. His trust in God was stronger than his current feelings. When we experience discouragement, let us make Asaph's words our own. But I am always with you, for you hold my right hand. You guide me with your counsel, and later you will welcome me to glory. Whom do I have in heaven but you, if I am? With you I desire nothing on earth. My body and my spirit may fail, but God strengthens my heart. He is my eternal heritage. Psalms 73-23-26 Niv. The role of Moses and Aaron. The Lord said to Moses, See, I have made you God to Pharaoh, and Aaron your brother shall be your own prophet. Exodus 7-1. It seems that I don't know how to speak was Moses' favorite excuse. He even angered God with this one. But God has a solution for everything. Aaron, his talkative brother, would be Moses' mouth. Moses spoke to his brother, and he spoke to the others. Ex 4:10-16. After the initial failures in Egypt, God had to remind Moses again of Aaron's role as his helper and spokesman. Ex 7:1-2. After the initial failures in Egypt, God had to remind Moses again of Aaron's role as his helper and spokesman. Ex 7:1-2. On this occasion, he made a comparison with the role of prophets. They receive a message from God and transmit it to us. In this sense, Moses plays the role of God and Aaron that of the prophet. As would later happen with many of the prophets, God warned that his message would not be heard and that he would have to act with great power. Ex 7-3. Like later prophets, Moses was to speak to the people and Pharaoh, whether they listen or turn away, for they are very rebellious. Ezek 2-7. This is also true of us, for we are the audible voice of God on this earth.
The Hebrews had hoped to obtain their freedom without any special trial of their faith, without real hardship or suffering. But they were not yet ready for deliverance. They had little faith in God and were unwilling to patiently endure their afflictions until he saw fit to act on their behalf. Many were content to remain in servitude rather than face the difficulties that would attend a removal to a strange land. And the habits of some had become so like those of the Egyptians that they preferred to live in Egypt. Therefore, the Lord did not deliver them by the first manifestation of his power before Pharaoh. He orchestrated events so that the tyrannical spirit of the Egyptian king might be more fully developed and that he might reveal himself to his people. When they saw his justice, his power, and his love, they would choose to leave Egypt and give themselves to his service.
Ellen G. White, Patriarchs and Prophets, page 236. Even when the journey begins with a rough start, God remains faithful. He hears, he sees, and in his time he delivers. Just like the Israelites, you too will have a song to sing when the battle is over. The Lord is my strength and my song, and he has become my salvation. Exodus 15-2. If this lesson blessed you, don't forget to like, comment, and share with someone who needs encouragement this week. Subscribe and follow for more weekly insights. And let's grow together in God's Word. Until next time, stay faithful and strong. We'll meet again right here for next week's lesson. God bless you.